Lights in the dance studio. I've never been much of a dancer. In fact, I would do anything not to dance. As academic Jack Anderson aptly puts it, dance is an inescapably material art involving solid hunks of flesh. How can I, a person with jiggly flesh and uncoordinated movement, even bear to put this shameful body on display? Years ago in uni, a group of us decided to sign up for exercise classes to get ourselves out of our sedentary academic lives. We joined the snaking queue excitedly in anticipation to sign up for yoga. But it was never meant to be. When it was finally our turn at the booth, we were told that the yoga class was full. To my horror, based on our schedules and also the collective agreement of the group, we could only attend the Zumba class. The first dance class was awkward. Flailing arms and fiddly limbs, every part of my body was uncoordinated. I found out that I could not follow the steps demonstrated gracefully by the instructor. A tingling sensation ran through my entire body and my cheeks reddened as I faltered in my steps. I felt exposed in a class of dancing bodies, all which were more beautiful than mine. I glanced at my friend, a seasoned dancer who could prance, turn, and groove to the beats in a precise and confident manner. I feel happy just by looking at her. It wasn't just her skills or techniques, it was her ability to enjoy being in the moment. Looking back, the display of my body in front of everyone else was not the most difficult part for me. The toughest part was having to face the image of myself and confront the shape and movements of my own body in front of the mirror. The image of my carefree friend helped me years later when I returned to the dance studio. When I realized that I am my own worst critic and nobody will actually care if I'm dancing wrongly, I felt liberated. Under the bright, playful lights in the dance studio, all bodies are free of judgment. Missing a turn is fine, lifting the wrong arm doesn't quite matter. And nobody really cares about the jiggly bits of your body. We are just us, big, small, tall, short, basking in the joy of music and movements. And so, week after week, I realized that my concerns over my body melted away with the steady beats of the music. And so did my worries, momentarily.
Welcome to Someplace Wow.
In this episode, we talk about bodily insecurities. Why do we need to pay attention to our bodies? The politics of fatness and our relationship with exercise. So welcome to our third episode. And Eric, we have rolled out our podcast for 2 weeks, 1 week already. How do you feel about that? Why you look at me in a very nervous...
I thought we were supposed to say the introduction.
No need already because you say this one too jia what. This one is just I lazy to take out just in case. I still never read the brief before the podcast, then never do homework, then I'll panic, right?
I panic because I never do any preparation before I come for the...
Yeah, I know. Yeah. I mean, after seeing so many students, I know. Like when they are not prepared for consults, right? This is what happens.
Sorry, Cher. Okay, but what was your question?
My question was, we have rolled out the podcast for 2 weeks already.
Yes.
Yeah. How do you feel about, the launch of our podcast and the reception and things like that?
Okay. For starters, I feel that I don't know why people are interested to hear us talk.
Precisely, that's my feeling also.
It's like beyond me. And for the 100 people who actually follow our Instagram and like 50 over listeners on Spotify, like thank you.
60 plus already.
60 already.
Yeah, correct.
Wow. Yeah. Okay. I hope that, I don't know, you get something out of listening to our talking lah. I really don't know like what kind of value that we can give to your life, but we really enjoy doing this, and we hope to do this for the long time. So
I think like something that I realized that in which maybe we didn't really plan for it is that I think people tune in for the company as well. Like
yes,
especially our very old friends, some of them, they sort of like allows them to reminisce and bring them back to the schooling days, right, with us. And
Yes.
for some others who they are either your friend or my friend. You know my friend, by the way, some of them, they call you by your first name already.
that is what.
They were like, when they are giving feedback, they're like, oh, you and Eric. And they were like, Eric.
If not what, call me Mr. Sim.
No, it's like as if you have also buy one, get one free friend, you know? Like, yes.
Nice.
So, they're just saying that it's just a comfortable space for them because our views sort of aligns with them. So
Yes.
they just enjoy tuning in, which I am very touched, and it really spur us to, you know, like want to do things better.
Yeah, I'm really thankful for the feedback as well. And I'm glad that we have, I guess, important points that you guys can take away also from the podcast, regardless whatever it is lah.
Yeah.
So today we're going to talk about body insecurities.
Yes.
And the episode title is called Lights in the Dance Studio. Why the title, Clara?
If you listen to the vignette just now, then you will realize. But
What if
I
there's no
have
vignette?
then I'll cut out this part.
Okay, go ahead.
So basically, you know, it is about my relationship with my body. As a girl growing up in an Asian society, and as a bigger, you know, a girl with a bigger body who inheres a bigger body in the Asian society, I am always being very conscious about my bodily size. Sometimes not out of my own consciousness, but people tend to make you feel conscious.
Even if you don't see a problem, they will come and make a comment or something to...
I don't know about you, but like for me, I inherit this big size body and big bones from my paternal side, and my maternal side, they are not so big size. But when I was young, I mean even in the family, I was being labeled as fatty lah. I'm the fatty of the family. It's not an oh no thing, because I think right now my relationship with my body is an acknowledgement that yes, I'm fat, I'm big size, and I'm okay with it most of the time.
Okay.
Right? Yeah.
But I believe a lot of people will disagree that you are
Yeah.
fat or what, because you know how much weight do you need to be labeled as fat?
Yeah,
Right.
but the fact is that I am a bigger sized kid. I think like
Of course, relative to your peers
from
lah.
0 to 3-4 years old, I was still average kid. Then suddenly boom, like wow, and then they start calling me. So yeah, puberty. Not really puberty. I don't know. Like it's just but it's just, you know, I was a bigger kid then. And actually before that, before I was bigger, I was already taller than
Most peers.
my peers.
So you stick out like a thumb, basically.
Yes lah, and my mother liked to cut the mushroom hair on.
Oh, that's so cute. That's why I call you Mushroom, right? In secondary school.
So we both have a nickname. So I'm Mushroom and Eric is called Pillar because
Why,
because you were fat last time. Then people call you Pillar. You remember who or not?
Ooh.
Our friend who was in your choir, they call you Pillar.
Why am I pillar?
Because you were fat. I'm just telling you. You
pillar
were,
is fat, man. Isn't pillar like
because there's
straight
this other
and
friend called
tall?
Bamboo. So you are the opposite of Bamboo, so you are Pillar. So anyway, you were fat shamed into this name lah. Oh my god, 17 years after he was fat shamed
I
into
don't
the
know that
name,
was a fat
Eric realized the true meaning behind his nickname
Oh, nice.
of Pillar
Okay.
Sim. Yes, so that was how, by the way, your nickname came
We
about.
are so
You were-
childish. Let's
Yes.
cut this away. I don't want to talk about this childishness. I'm so
Why?
ashamed of ourselves.
This is quite funny.
Okay.
Anyway, so where was I? Yeah, so I mean, from young, I was being called like Xiao Pang, which is translated little fat,
Okay. Little
right?
fat.
Or like Pui Pui.
Okay.
So a friend from Switzerland texted me and asked me when I posted about Pui Pui on Instagram, like, what is Pui Pui? Then I laugh, like, because it is a Hokkien language that it's, you know, when you hear it, it's very onomatopoeic. It's so
Yes.
Pui Pui, as if, right, you can see the person bouncing.
Block.
Like a blob,
Yeah.
right? So anyway, Pui Pui is a derogatory term for fat, like fat person. Like,
But to me,
just mean
I thought it
fatness.
sounds
It's also cute lah.
endearing.
Yeah, it's also cute lah. So like I was called
okay.
Apui, Pui Pui, Xiao Pang, fatty or whatever
Oh,
most
okay.
of my life, which is I'm okay with
You
it.
mean childhood lah, right?
When I grow up,
There are still people calling you Pui Pui when you grow up, man.
very close friends, I guess. Xiao
My
Pang lah,
impression
Xiao
of
Pang.
you back then was not that you were
Wow.
weird or anything.
Okay, later we can talk about this. So, but what about you? Are you fat growing up or what? Like,
Yeah, this topic touches my heart because
your fatty heart.
I was a fat boy.
Boy, you was.
I was fat until the age of 13. So when I
Yeah.
show the photos of my childhood to people, they don't believe that it was me.
Yeah, I remember Eric liked to flex last time, like, cause I
What?
think in secondary school by the time I met him, he already slimmed down.
Already
Like he would
slimmed
like
down.
to flex his bus card when he was in
Oh
primary
yes,
school,
my
and
primary
then
school bus card.
basically he had no neck lah.
like that.
Yeah,
No neck.
he was Jabba the Hutt.
I had no neck, I had no chin, and then
Yes.
my whole face is just like fat.
Yes.
Yeah, I think you know why or not?
Why?
Because I had so much joy eating a lot of food. growing
Yeah,
up.
it's a nice
It's
thing.
a nice
It's
thing.
a nice
so
thing.
I derive a lot of joy from just eating. And I guess the adults were too busy with their lives to care about like diet, right? My diet or whatever. So they just let me eat whatever I want in primary school. So in my primary school days, it is very 夸张, it's very exaggerating one. During recess time, right, I would get myself a main.
And then you have sides.
And then I have sides.
And then you have dessert.
No. And then I have another side of soup that has
Wow.
like yong tau fu or something. And this is like my everyday.
Day. I think it's very
for a
high
meal,
level.
For a recess time, then I'll have the same amount of food for lunch. Yeah.
And then more for dinner.
Dinner is mostly done at home lah, so possibly also more. I don't know.
Wow.
I was just a kid with no control. Lor.
I mean I was as well, but I take my hats off you because
Why?
how on earth do you have time for a main aside during recess, which is like
30 minutes,
less
right?
than 30
I
minutes.
finished the meal in 10 minutes.
Oh my
That's
goodness.
not fat. That's how greedy I think I was. That's why I was very
Yeah.
fat. And I have zero exercise. I'm not an outdoorsy person. Well, I was from choir lah for 10 years.
Yeah. Oh, people were commenting on your sexy voice, so I told them you're a
Oh.
choir boy.
Thanks.
Yeah. Anyway, were you from Tough Club? Do you remember Tough Club?
Yes.
So guys, for those of you millennials, not millennials, Gen Z,
Gen Z.
who are tuning in and you don't know what is a Tough Club,
It's
it
called
stands
Trim
for
and Fit.
Trim and Fit Club, and if you read it from behind, it says fat. And what happened is, I don't know about your school, but in my primary school, some of the recesses, we do not have a recess. We have to do exercises.
Right.
And at most, we can bring a sandwich, but they will check each and every of our lunch boxes to make sure that it is a so-called
Yes.
healthy meal.
Yes.
So it was, I think, in looking back, I don't think this, it is sort of a fat shaming, right? I don't think it's quite healthy for a young person who do not understand about healthiness, about the body, and then you just say, okay, you are fat, that's why you are in this club.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to check your lunch boxes, and it is sort of like a sort of shame
I
that
felt,
you
I felt it, I felt very singled out
Yeah.
when I was selected for
Tough Club, right?
Surprise.
because we couldn't join our friends.
Mm-hmm.
We couldn't join our friends to play during recess. We can't
Yes.
socialize with
Yes.
our usual group of friends, and then you just have to, okay, all the fat people, you are in a club together, okay?
Yeah, so
Yeah.
primary school I was super fat, and then moving on to Sec 1 I was still fat actually, and then I was singled out to go to Tough Club in secondary school. And actually our secondary school, we were a school that prides itself for its athletic capability,
Volleyball, right?
volleyball.
Yeah. We
this
have
kind.
morning runs as well.
Precisely.
Yeah.
So for me, I was like, oh my god, this is the wrong school for me. But it was good lah.
It was good.
It was good lah. So my experience back then was that, like what you said, I couldn't eat anything during recess. All I could do is complete, I think, 15 rounds of not so many lah, but maybe 5 rounds around the soccer field, which is a lot already at that time.
Yeah, it was.
And then you cannot eat until you finish the round, and your attendance will be marked. And if you don't come, right, you have more shit to do. I remember his name is called Mr. Pua, the PE teacher.
I'm going to censor this again. Stop mentioning names. I have to like censor and cut
just
out stuff.
Mr. Poop.
I cannot. It's difficult. Okay. Anyway, our school was.
No, I'm saying this because I'm a bit traumatized by the experience.
Yeah, I am sure because I was very scarred by my primary school tough club experience that I was very resolved not to be in tough club in secondary school. I knew it was going to be more hellish. So I think after my PSLE, which I didn't study anyway, I decided to, just go on diet and slim down. And I think you were at that time where you were having puberty, but your metabolism is at its peak as well.
Yes.
So as long as you are moving, you are
Yes.
cutting down on food, you
Exactly.
lose weight very easily.
Yes.
So they also make you queue up and take your height and weight in front of everyone.
Yes.
That was very humiliating for me for
get it.
so many years.
I get it.
But in secondary school, I was so resolved to not be overweight anymore and not be in tough club. Primarily, it's the tough club thing that I wanted to avoid. So I decided to just, participate fully during morning runs and PE and things like that, where I did not even participate in primary school. I would hide in the toilet when they asked the tough club people to go in the morning for morning runs. I was like that kind of alien in primary school. So in secondary school, I participated fully. I'm like, come, give me, I want to run how also can.
So actually, this form of shame is also extrinsic motivation for us to keep fit.
It was,
right?
but if you are not able to regulate yourself mentally, emotionally, in the later parts of your life as well, I think it might be detrimental to mental health as well.
I agree.
Yes.
I agree.
So we have given you a slight context of our relationship and background with our fatty bodies, and we are talking about fat because we are comfortable with it, but later on we will also share some of our politics relating to fatness.
In our
But
relationship with this idea, right?
but in the first place, right, why do we need to pay attention to our bodies?
Why?
Yeah, why are we talking about bodies in the first place?
I think it is not just talking about our body, but also our mental as well. Like our whole self-esteem, how we derive our confidence and our identity, I guess, from external validation or discouragement. I don't know. How our entire identity is built upon what people say about us growing up.
Yes.
So talking about the body itself, because body is the most tangible thing that people can judge you on.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
and inevitably we will derive a certain sense of where we are now, or our sense of value through people's judgment of our bodies, or I guess it's very prevalent especially in this media field culture where everyone on Instagram is just so perfect looking.
Yeah, but also it's a sense of your body is not your body anymore. So why I want to talk about the body is because it is the site and vessel in which we experience the world first and foremost. It is our touch point where we our body gives us the sense to experience the world, but it's also like what you say, it is a site whereby you receive feedback about how people relate to you. And I mentioned this to Eric in his own Epic Dialogue podcast before. So in academia, there is this whole debate about the mind and body bifurcation. So for many years, enlightenment thinking, there's focus on the mind, you are intelligent, you are able to do this, the mind is very important. But through all this narratives about the mind, things about the body get lost in translation, as if it's just a empty shell for us to carry out what the mind wants to do. But I think let's bring our focus back into the body, because there's so much to talk about it, especially like what Eric said just now about the social media. So in this realm of social media, our body, it used to be our body, we have this, and then people can judge us when we interact with them. But with social media, right, you are able to then post various stuff about your body. And sometimes what you see on the screen because of VR technology, because of all this, right? It's not even your body as it is presented in
reality.
the real world at all. Yeah. Isn't that scary but interesting at the same time?
Interesting, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So the next thing I want to talk about, right, is so we have discussed about, why is there a need to pay attention to our body. What we really want to talk about is the politics of fatness.
What does it mean?
Yeah. So just now when we were relating to being fat, right, we relate also to emotions relating to shame, to, feeling maybe marginalized maybe or sidelined, single out in a community such as the school or in our family.
And why is it being a certain size, right, makes it a big deal?
So I would like to say something first. In JC, I remember this very distinctive memory of a girl. She is what we will call skinny, what we will label as skinny. So one day, right, this person, she was exclaiming to that girl, saying that, oh, you're so skinny, but she meant it in a positive praising way. But the girl was very taken aback, which she should be. She has the right to feel. So because why are you judging people based on their bodily size, right? Yeah. So the girl she said, you shouldn't say this to me. It's as if you are saying that I am
good.
It's the same thing as you are saying that I'm fat. And I was like thinking, doesn't sit well. So I think like the image of fat versus skinny, there is still a distinction. It's not invalidating her experience. Of course, I wouldn't know if
what
she's going through.
Maybe she wants to gain weight.
Because I have never been skinny in my whole life. But I think the whole thing about being fat, right, is this label, because fat is associated with different connotations. Number one, you are lazy.
Okay.
Number two, you are not healthy.
Inactive. You have lack of control.
You have a lack of control, you have lack of control. You are unable to go out to exercise. Yeah. You are very greedy.
Yes.
You are lazy, and that is why your body size is like that.
Correct.
So there is this whole host of negative connotations to do with fatness, which is why that when you say someone is fat, right, it comes with all these baggages and assumptions as well, which is why then there is always a need to eradicate fatness. I'm not saying that unhealthy is the way to go, but fatness doesn't mean unhealthy also for a lot of people.
There's a lot of body positive messages out there, to also highlight that there are different types of body types. Different body types, and we should just be very comfortable in our own skin. And what's most important is how do we feel mentally and also physically. Do you feel energized to do the things that you want to do? Because our body is really to help us, do things basically, and experience life, right?
Yes.
It helps us do that. And if you can do that at your 100% capacity, and why should you be so insecure? No, that's not what I mean. But why should we pay so much attention to how a certain desired body type?
Correct. I feel that it's true, but I feel that precisely because fatness is being tied to health, right? That a lot of people will say that you can say you want to be body positive for all you want, but in the end you're still unhealthy, which is why we are saying that fat is not good. It's a slippery slope kind of argument, which I feel that it's dangerous to continue with this line of logic.
But I guess there's also there's a limit,
correct.
how certain lifestyle is really unhealthy.
Correct. There is a correlation. So okay, I am sure that there is a medical correlation of cardiovascular diseases versus a person's weight, right? Yes, it is true, but it shouldn't be the only thing which encapsulate the argument of fat is bad kind of argument, because as long as you it's just a very one size fit all kind of
Is that a pun? One size fits
oh
all.
my god, Eric. I mean, you know, it's sort of this kind of argument that will lead to like people then like keep going back to the square one, which is that no, you have to be fit, you have to be a certain body size, which means that you are healthy.
Which is a very media portrayal kind of situation, right?
It is like
growing up, we are being told that a certain size looks better. People with a certain looks have better lives.
Correct.
You know, and this kind of narratives are constantly bombarding us.
Correct. Which is what I want to talk about also, because in my own experience of being a bigger size person, I mean in Singapore when I go overseas, then in Western countries, I don't feel that fat.
Yes.
I will gain weight there. I become a hobbit in the Nordics, you know.
Yeah, considered petite in your husband's country.
Not petite lah. I'm of like a more average size and height, maybe. So when this kind of dominant narrative, right? I think the image surrounding the whole notion surrounding what is the ideal image and ideal size is so strong and so prominent in the society that I sometimes feel unable to get out of it. So for example, I was at a party with people, right? And it was hosted by a professor. I call her my feminist idol. So she was the person who, like, you know, taught us about dismantling social construct and things like that. She's such a strong woman in my eyes. But one day we were trying to take a photograph in that party. She said something and which jolted me, because she says that, oh, can you make me look slimmer? So she is, as a Westerner, she is, you know, maybe taller and a little bit bigger size than us. But she said that, and it just occurred to me, even a strong, very critical feminist academic like her cannot escape the clutches of societal expectations and framing sometimes, which was mind-blowing for me, because my relationship with my body is this. I have no qualms about saying that I am fat, because to me it's an acknowledgement that yes, I am bigger size than the girls around me lah. But when every time I say that I'm fat, the reaction that I got from people, they are interesting, because when I say I'm fat, people are like, no lah, you don't say that. And I'm like, hey, but then what's wrong with it? Is it your reaction is more telling than my declaration of me being fat? Because if you are reacting in a shocked or embarrassed manner,
it's almost like a taboo.
It means that, if you are reacting in a way that, the word fat or me declaring that I'm fat
makes you uncomfortable.
It makes them more uncomfortable than me, which again tells me that the messaging in the society is very strong. So in my whole life, right, like I say, primary school I was like super overweight, and then I slimmed down. In secondary school, metabolism is high also. JC, I was at my thinnest. When I look back now, right, of course I know in the past few years when I started teaching, I've gained 14 kgs, which is mind blowing. But during all this while, in the later part of the years, these few years, I am okay with my own body. But when I was a teenager, right, even when I was like 20 kgs slimmer than now, right,
you feel fat.
I felt fat.
Yes.
For my whole life.
It's always this case when we look back at our own old photos, right?
Yes.
Like, what were we thinking when we said we were fat back
Correct.
then?
Correct.
We were so skinny, okay?
Yeah, and if I were to ask my students, right, in class, who feels uncomfortable in their own body or who feels fat, most of the girls will raise their hands.
Oh dear. Guys, like, interesting.
Guys, okay, so interesting thing about guys, my observation is that last time you all were just, I will also have another friend, he was also overweight in primary school, but also in secondary school, both of us were like, we were texting each other, okay, we are going to lose weight, blah, blah, so we were in different schools. It was just a losing weight, and then boys will go and do things like run or play basketball, that kind of thing. Now, right, I felt that something interesting is the guys have started to want to shape their body, lift weights, drink protein powder, which we didn't see last time. it's very rare.
Very rare.
For guys, right? As long as
Yeah.
they are tall, like
Yeah.
that, can already, and not
Yes.
fat. Then
Yes.
girls are, oh my god, so handsome.
Yeah.
And then now, like, wow,
Need
they
to go
are.
gym.
Wow, yeah, I see my ex-students, my students, they are going to the gym and they are, like, they will always, they want the six pack and the body. But again, I think it is the kind of trying to achieve the ideal image that is portrayed in the media. So it's not only girls that are doing dieting and all that, but guys are trying to shape
Also
their
very
bodies.
conscious about how they
Yeah,
look.
correct.
Right.
So that is quite scary for me as well.
Why is it
lah.
scary? Taking care of how you look.
I think taking care of how you look is okay, but to the extent where your ego is tied to it is not healthy. To the extent where if you are starving yourself or if you are, not doing it for the right reasons, is not okay. So yeah, and during secondary school and JC, I don't know about you, like where your bodily, like you said you felt fat even though you lost weight, right?
You mean in secondary school?
Yeah, or poly or whatever.
I didn't feel fat, but I definitely feel like very
It's not enough.
not enough
Yes.
compared to what we see in the media. We are still very brainwashed by what is an ideal, because if I don't have that kind of body, maybe then I'm a lesser of a person. If if you are not, I wasn't mature enough that time to differentiate, or to have that kind of healthy self-esteem. So we were very susceptible to this kind of messaging.
Correct.
Really, especially when I would say looks these days are more placed upon are more important to maybe, actually I don't know what I'm saying.
It's not nowadays lah, but as in just that people
Okay.
looks are very important in the marketing of the self.
割掉这个part.
Yeah. Did anybody tell you before ever in your life that you are fat?
Yes, obviously when I was in primary school lah.
And then after that it went away when you slimmed down.
It went away. Yeah, it went away. But the shadow of that shame is still there, and it carries you throughout your life, I guess. But I'm not so much affected now.
Yeah, that's interesting because for me as a female, I get that a lot. I get people telling me that I'm fat a lot. Okay, so
That's very bad.
Okay, so number one, like I say, I will openly tell people that I'm fat because it's an acknowledgement, and I think that there is nothing wrong with that, and you don't have to feel shameful for me because I don't feel shameful for myself.
Okay, very positive. Yeah.
Actually, the closest friends to me are those who dare to make fat jokes about me. Yeah. My ex-boss tell me not to say, but I want to say because it's something very fun.
Sure.
Like, for example, he will fat shame me very openly and say, oh my God, you fat me, you make a dent in my car, that kind of thing. And then I will make him embarrassed by declaring his fat shaming lines very loudly in the office, and then they will shame him back for fat shaming me. So it's like a banter, which actually I don't see myself as victim or whatever. It's just,
so where do we draw the line between?
So I think he also knows that I'm okay, and I'm also okay. But if you do it to some other person who is suffering with like
body image issues.
Body insecurities, then it's very bad for them lah.
Right.
Yeah, but it wasn't okay. So some at this level it was okay, and I also well trained in secondary school where like a very good friend, the one that I was telling you about. I don't know whether the one that I was telling you about just now. He will call me he'll call me petrol station.
Why?
He will call me 小胖. Yeah, he said I got unlimited oil like to pump. It was okay, healthy banter because he's just this kind of person, and then also like I don't mind.
Yes.
I think it's actually very creative that he came out with all this.
Because we got a lot of fat jokes growing up.
Correct. And his jokes are the most creative ones.
Yes.
Okay. But there are also like I think JC was my skinniest, but also that wasn't very healthy because I was eating very little.
Consciously or what?
Not enough time, but also consciously because secondary school I trained myself. Like contrast to your diet in
You
primary
eat like
school,
a
right?
bird, I know, in secondary school.
Yeah, so recess I'll eat 1 cup corn. Or at most one that burger. It will last me through 6 p.m.
Yeah.
Or the cup corn, if I'm going home at 2 o'clock,
Yeah.
then I eat the cup corn and that's all.
Yes.
So that was also a conscious, I mean, at first it was conscious, then after it became a habit. Like, so when I go to McDonald's, the max I'll eat with 6-piece nuggets because it's the lowest calories, ironically.
With curry sauce.
Yes, correct.
I think at a point in my life, some points in my life also, I tried dieting.
Yeah.
But I realized that it is not very sustainable.
Correct. So, but at that stage, I didn't know because I mean, metabolism rate is still high. So, and it doesn't help that sometimes boys will give me some comments, like unsolicited ones.
So was it because they're childish?
So, I don't know whether they are childish or not. Some of them, I ask some of them, like those who are still close to me, why is it that in JC you all still call me fat? When I look back, I wasn't. And I remember that, okay, my head is big, so you cannot see. But then it was at a point where, like, I'm like, you can see my rib cage, lor. It was like, wow, if I were to have that figure now, then okay, I won't.
Why would they call you fat?
So they were like, you know, when you're taking weight, then they're like, oh my god, you are like 57 kgs. And then this other girl is 60 kgs, so you're not the fattest. Then I'm like, if I am 57 kgs now is my dream weight, excuse me, more than my dream weight, I think. And then like other boys, actually until uni actually, they will text me, and there's this guy who texts me. I think you also know that guy. But like, I think I forgot whether uni or JC, he texted me, he said, I really admire you, like unsolicited again. You are smart, you are funny, you are blah, blah, blah. I think if you lose some weight, you will be perfect.
Huh?
And then I was like, at that point, I didn't process it.
That is so traumatizing.
But then I just tell him that at that point, I cannot go any smaller size now. Because
why do you have to justify?
that time I didn't know, young ma, remember?
Okay.
And then I'm like, it's just like my bones are like this. I can't go any smaller size. And then after that, I realized that he's trying to turn me into his ideal whatever person in his mind, which is like very unsolicited.
Yeah.
And from that experience, someone also had another person. To be fair, that person also said, oh, you know, he was trying to like ask me out, and then he said, let's go and exercise together because I think you will be, you know, whatever image that he has, like you will be much more attractive if you lose a bit of weight.
Right.
Everything else about you is very good.
Right.
And then, but that time I was already in secondary, in uni. So with the prior experiences, I'm like, no, I'm not interested. Like,
Sure.
like,
Okay,
dude,
to be honest with you also, I am guilty of last time, you know. I don't know why lah. I am guilty of last time giving fat shaming comments to out of, I don't know, maybe I was childish, or maybe I was just having this narrative ingrained in me because last time I was fat too. And
correct.
you know, having gotten out of it makes me feel like I might have a certain 权利 or, you know, a certain authority to tell people what to do. And looking back now that you share with me this piece of information, it is like, wow, it is not very nice, and it is. So I'm sorry if anybody was hurt by my comments last time.
By your fat shaming comments.
Yes.
So I mean, like I say, I think there are differences lah. There's a sliding scale of fat shaming comments. There are like the fun ones for me.
Okay.
And there are the ones those are comments where I wouldn't be able to process until, you know, like much later
when
on, a few years later. But then it makes me just feel that it's still not enough. It's still not enough. It's still not enough. And then therefore this very insecure. I live with this insecure body lah. Which now I am. Of course, there are days where like I feel, you know, before my sabbatical, oh my god, I gained 14 kgs and I wasn't healthy. So I was trying to like, you know, adjust, but also like what you say, have this knowledge of paying attention to the body that I want it to be more sustainable, like healthy in a sustainable way rather than in a very mentally and physically obsessed and a drastic manner. Yeah.
You were talking about fat shaming,
Yes.
and then there are also people who receive comments about them being too skinny. 哎呦，你应该吃多一点, you should eat more, you're
Correct.
so skinny.
Yes.
I guess that also rubs off the wrong way for some people as
Correct.
well.
So yeah, I mean, like, why is it your problem when the person is skinny? It's a very Asian kind of thing whereby, like, in your family, if you are skinny, means they are not feeding you enough. Maybe, you know, like,
They suddenly become very poor.
post-war Singapore, Hong Kong, Taiwan, like, post in, like, do you want to show that we are not, like, starving anymore?
Too fat cannot,
right?
too skinny cannot. What
Yes.
you want?
Correct, what you want. Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's that. So going on from that, then what is the more healthy way to relate to your body?
I think for a start, right, we shouldn't discuss about body with unsolicited comments
Correct.
to other people for a start.
Correct.
Whatever they look, just diam. Yeah.
It's none of your business.
It's none of your business.
Unless really you know that the person is going through something and you genuinely want to help.
Yes.
And then you find a way in a respectful manner and a caring and kind manner to segue into the conversation.
Yes.
Yeah.
That one really need a lot of tech and a lot of training.
And also it depends on the dynamics in your relationship.
Yeah, and I also learned that it's also lately, I think I did something wrong again. I commented about somebody's losing weight, and to me, right, I was like, wow, you look great.
Yeah.
I mean, you look. The fact is, it came from a perspective of complimenting. You look great, and can see that your face is a bit slimmer, lah. You know, it came from that angle, but I will never know what this person was going through for one, you know, and I could be, you know, thinking back, I think I'm a bit wrong in saying anything. So next time I'll just not say anything if I notice something. But I shouldn't have done that really, because you don't know what the person is going through, and maybe the person was also actively trying to make better out of, you know, him or herself, and there's no need for you as an outsider to comment their life choices lah. So for me, as much as my intention was, I want to tell you that whatever you're doing, you know, keep it up, girl. You look really healthy.
Yeah.
But thinking back, I shouldn't have.
But sometimes, because then when I'm losing weight, then when people start to tell me they can see the difference, then I also felt,
Validated.
maybe my efforts are paying off. But then again, that I also don't want to like go back into the unhealthy cycle of being obsessed with.
Yeah.
So it's a very delicate balance.
Very delicate.
There is this social media influencer. Her name is Ming Bridges. I don't know whether you know her.
Yeah.
So for those of you who know, you can look at her Instagram stuff. She was battling with very unhealthy eating disorder, which made her, so she was very skinny at one time because she needed to cut an album in Taiwan, and Taiwan is a society that is quite obsessed with petite and skinny girls. So she was at her skinniest, but actually she was very ill. And then after that, she started to binge on food, and she started to gain a lot of weight.
That is the yo-yo effect.
That is the yo-yo effect, which I experienced also, like, because I cut off so much food last time, right, that a slight increase in calories, will really make me bounce back. But I think her narrative is very healthy now, which she's trying to propagate and share with people, because every time people validate her on her, you know, fit looking body, now she say, no, that is not the point. Whatever body type that I have at the moment, you don't have to praise me, or you don't have to penalize me. You don't have to say anything about it, because it is my body. And what I am trying to show the girls is that whatever body that I am in, we all have different cycles. It is okay,
seasons.
and you need to love, you know, every part of every stage of your body, as long as you are healthy and you are not, you know, depriving yourself of the necessary nutrients.
Yeah.
So when I watched a CNA documentary lately also, a nutritionist and a scientist also mentioned that actually our body are quite predisposed genetically to be a certain size.
Mm.
So your body will settle lah.
Mm.
That is why, like someone like me, to maintain a certain weight, right? Actually, I have to work very hard for it. It's like what we call like, even when I drink water, I'll be fat.
That's your baseline.
That's my baseline.
No, you drink water, I breathe air, I'll be fat.
Yeah, I breathe air, I'll be fat. Yeah. So I think at one point we have to get comfortable with it, and we also have to just to calibrate and also help other people. I mean, not give very weird comments to other people.
Precisely.
Yeah. But that being said, if you are exercising, but you feel good exercising, and exercise can bring you out of a certain cycle, then it is also good. So recently, Adele, she lost a lot of weight, right? She got a very... she have a lot of comments saying
very single to be celebrity one. I tell you, you fat people say you
fat,
skinny
right?
people say you sell out. Wow,
so when she's like, she lost weight now, and people are saying that, hey, you're not body positive anymore.
Yeah.
And I think it was I didn't watch the whole interview, but she told Oprah that she was having such a rough time. She was having divorce and all that, right?
Yeah.
Exercising and being in the gym was the only
Escape.
way she could feel that she's alive.
Yeah.
Do you have such experience?
Yes. So I started going regularly to the gym 5 years ago or 4 years ago. That was the part. That was during the part of my life where it was really very dark, and I was down. Basically, I had to see a therapist. And back then, we are not so having mental issues wasn't so talked about at that time.
Yes.
So I was struggling. I didn't know who to go to, where to go. So the first thing is, wow, I'm really, really very sad. Cannot tahan already. I just went to IMH. Straight lah. I just went there and then I just said, I need to talk to someone. If not, I don't know what I will do. That is the amount of sadness that I felt at that time. After seeing the therapist, moving forward, they suggested very cliche advice lah. Or if you feel sad, go and run or go and do some physical activity, because it's really scientifically proven to help you feel better.
How do you feel when they tell you that, and when you were in the pits of like depression?
Oh no! They obviously will help me solve my mindset.
Okay.
My depressed thinking back then, but following up what I should do to keep myself better or feel better is they not prescribe lah. They literally tell me go and find some activity to do, like physical activity to do to make you feel good. I thought there was at that point, right, I was at my wit's end already. I don't know what else I can do to feel better. So I was like, what heck it lah. I mean,
right.
What's there to lose, right?
Yeah.
I'm already
your weight.
Don't fat shame me. What's there to lose, right? Except for my weight. Yeah. Then I just let's just. And then at that time, my friend was also starting to do yoga in one of the commercial gyms in Singapore. So I decided to just follow her lor, and that's how I got started going to the gym regularly. And like Adele, right? Like Adele, going to the gym it changed. I say very, very confidently that going to the gym saved my life. Why do I say that? It's because when you are met with life challenges and adversity that's beyond your control, for example, a loss of somebody, or maybe you are being you feel sad for whatever problems that you cannot find a solution to, taking the first step, wearing your running shoes, going to the gym, gives you that form of empowerment that there's something that you can do.
Okay. Being in control.
The
start of taking the initiative.
Precisely. It is not so much about going to the gym, working it out, sweating, gain the muscles, get the gains. No. It is the process of going there and then doing something for yourself that was very healing for me. So then it starts to build up. Like after this session, oh, I feel quite good, but I'm still very depressed. But let's try another day. And then every day I go, it becomes like a habit. And it is a habit that perpetuates itself for me to feel better each day. And 1 month into going to the gym, I felt stronger. And then I feel like, oh my God, I've never felt this strong before, you know, and I can see some 线条, some lines on my bicep, and like, this feels nice. I've never felt this sense of achievement with my own body before. And this is possible, you know. I mean, when we go to army, it was, I did my physical training back in army lah. But during uni, it kind of lost the momentum, so I didn't train very hard and all that. But being able to see some progress, almost like, wow, I go back to my army days body already, then it feels like I have the power or I have the strength to make things better for my life. And that was a turning point for my mental health. Yeah, through physical activity, it changed my relationship with my body. That's one. And it changed my relationship with myself. That is a victim mentality. Like, oh my God, oh my God, I suck lah. And nobody loves me. I have so much issues that, you know, I can never recover from. All this trauma that I have growing up and even into my adulthood, I can never, you know, all these narratives you tell yourself. It was made better through my own initiation to the gym.
Interesting.
Because it makes me feel like I can do something about my own sadness.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's my experience.
Wow, that's quite powerful and vulnerable sharing. Okay, wait, let me touch Eric's. Have leh, have. Yeah, have. Okay.
So what about you, Clara? What's your experience?
In uni, then the first time I went to a gym, I've never been to a gym before. I was so thankful that this dorm mate of mine, she was also trying to lose weight, and she taught me how to go to the gym. So we went to gym together, and it was free. It just felt as though that time I was at a pit's end of my confidence level, because I just felt that things didn't work out because maybe I'm fat. So on the treadmill, I was like, there was this anger and sadness that couldn't go anywhere, and then on the treadmill, it sort of enabled me to vent that anger. And then through that, then I went for other classes, and then I managed to lose weight, but also it was the process of more than anything else on the treadmill of venting out my whatever grudges or sorrows that I had. Yeah, that was the first time. Then after that, of course, when you are busy, then I felt very annoyed. Like when I started working, of course, that was when I started to gain a lot of weight, but I didn't care. At that point, I was already in this comfortable. I know that I'm gaining weight, but it doesn't really matter to me. Maybe because I'm married also. And then my husband, I don't know how he thinks about it, but he dealt with it. He will just tell me that it's okay, and he's like a very body positive, which help my confidence also. I don't know how he does it lah, because I'm very critical of myself. Then recently, during my sabbatical, I went back to the gym after the longest time. Because I think I was in a place where I felt I wasn't in control of my life. For the past years, I was just following orders sometimes. In terms of my work, I felt out of control because there are too many variables at work. I couldn't control results. I couldn't control how my students react. I couldn't control a lot of things, and I just felt that at some of my busiest time, I was going through the motion of many very different variables and unexpected stuff. I didn't feel in control of my life. So when I decided, of course, the first step was to take a break, the sabbatical, right? Taking back control of my life. But going back to the gym and seeing that actually through the different sessions and through time, I can change something, and that is my body, was the empowering part for me.
Similarly?
Yes. Yeah. So is, I think, also then I try and manage my own expectations. I wouldn't expect that, suddenly I would drop 7 kgs back to a supermodel, which I already acknowledge I'm not, but being able to see small changes, that you have the input, you have the output, unlike, a few months ago at work, I have inputs, but I might not have the output, was a very scary, not scary, but it was just not a very comfortable, or it was not a very refreshing state to be in lah. So that was my experience with exercising. But on the other hand, when I was not exercising, there are many people who come to me and tell me that, hey, go exercise lah, just go to the gym lah. Just, the pressure of being a fitspo is quite high. In recent years, I realized, which was why I talk about my male students wanting to go to the gym also. Because I think 10 years ago, maybe the body ideal was being skinny. 10, 15 years ago, right? In our secondary school years. Now the body ideal is having a fit-looking body. Do you realize that?
Yes.
As in the ideal change.
Yes.
But it doesn't mean that this ideal is any much healthier mentally or sometimes physically. Yeah, but I just feel that, for example, some of my friends will tell me if they are working moms or they are very busy of certain family situation
Yes.
or stage in your life where you just cannot go to the gym, or you are not ready yet, or you are unable to take care of yourself, then I just want to say that it is okay also.
Yes.
Sometimes you don't have to, if it's not time for you to be disciplined, then don't be so hard on yourself also. And don't be so hard on judging yourself, and don't go and judge other people.
Precisely.
Yeah. I don't know how to put this in a more sophisticated way, but because there are just so many, narratives surrounding it. But as much as I just want to put it out there, that as much as Eric and I are talking about, wow, like we go gym and we feel good,
And
but
it changed our life.
it changed our life, but it doesn't mean that at this point or ever that it is something for all of you out there lah.
There is not a necessary or a...
Correct.
If you don't do what you really miss out. No.
Or if you don't do, then you should be ashamed of yourself because you are like not disciplined. No, it's not. Then we will go back to the square one.
Yeah.
Of like the mislabeling of fatness.
But definitely, there's a lot of merits lah in exercising and getting yourself active.
Yeah.
Because there's scientifically so many evidence that these are positive things that we can do to better ourselves.
Correct.
Yeah, but if you decided to choose not to do it, I think there is also, due to various reasons, I think there's also nothing wrong as people who are doing it on a consistent basis, good for you. But if you have friends who might not see the need, or at this stage in their life not ready, then keep the doors open of invitation. Hey, want to come to the gym? Don't want, it's fine. Or I'm going yoga. Do you want to join? If not, then it's fine. I think extending the invitation is okay, just not like pressurize.
Yeah, that's right.
Like, oh my God, you should totally come to the gym.
Yes.
You don't go to
It's
the
so
gym.
annoying. Like when I was not at the gym phase, I felt that it was very annoying. Like I'm trying to finish all my work. I'm trying to just get my life together. I have no time to listen to your whatever privileged gym thing lah. Yeah. So that is that. I think we have come to nearly the end of our podcast. We have talked about many things surrounding bodily insecurities, our own stories relating to being pui, also known as being fat, and fat shaming, and also the whole pressure to be fitspo and the benefits that exercising might possibly bring to our lives beyond the physical aspects.
Beyond the physical aspect. Yeah, I think that's the most important, I feel.
That's right.
So I think as we conclude today's episode, there's some things that I would like to say to the listeners, that whatever positive change that you want to do for yourself, right? Regardless of whether it's going to the gym or
eating healthier,
whatever lah. It has to come from within, that you really believe in the benefits of doing some certain things, and you want to empower yourself to make certain changes to your lifestyle. It shouldn't be from a perspective of, I want to look a certain way because of certain societies expectation.
Or certain someone.
Yeah, or judgment from people.
Yeah. Or like the person you like asks you to do it in a certain way.
Yes, it shouldn't be that way.
Or your husband or your partner or whoever.
Because it's not sustainable.
Yes.
Yeah. So what about you, Clara?
I think the thing about relating and being comfortable in your body is important, no matter the size. Own it. If you are fat, own it. If you are skinny, own it. If your boob one big, one small, own it. Right? So I think the starting point is being comfortable with yourself first.
Yes.
You control the narrative of your body and not let the society or other people control it for you.
Precisely.
That is the first step.
That is the first step. And whatever you want to do, go to the gym, take a walk, go to the park. And
or lie
exercise.
on the sofa, eat a bag of potato chips. On some days, it's fine.
Totally fine.
Yes. So there's, I think, our little nuggets to live with you. We don't want to sound prescriptive, but I think this is what we truly feel right now.
You do you.
So at the end of every podcast, we would like to recommend some activities or things that we enjoy, share with you. Some people are messaging me saying that people should sponsor us. Maybe one day, I don't know, So Eric, what is your recommendation for this week? Laughing. Because he really actually deep in his heart, he wants to be sponsored for this lah.
No lah, deep in my heart, I think that, the thing that I'm going to recommend is, I also don't want to pressurize people,
Yes.
This is your
it's
choice.
A recommendation, it's not a must do, okay?
Must do. So I want to recommend my friends who are listening to this podcast to go to the gym. Just with my sharing that, physical activity really helps with our mental wellness, right? I think there is a lot of benefits in getting your blood pumping, your sweat out, you feel good after that and all that. So something that I want to recommend is, come to my gym. I'm currently subscribed to this gym that is start with an F and end with an F.
I guess what that is.
Yeah, so and I will typically go for the circuit training by my friend who is, can name drop or not?
Yeah, I mean if they don't mind, it's just
I don't think he minds lah.
Then if you don't mind, then you can.
So my friend is Jay. Go and if you're a fitness freak, if you're start with an F and with an F member.
Okay.
You can look for his fitness class. It's really very good.
Okay.
Yeah. It's a circuit training. I usually go every Monday, Tuesday, Friday, or Saturday. The keyword is all.
This is an open Joe from Eric.
Yeah, just come and join me if you happen to be a member. It's quite life changing for me.
For him.
Yeah, because circuit training, it not only does endurance, it also do a lot of other things. Like if you want to have stamina, if you want to have strength, it's a combination of things. So it's all in one kind of physical workout. It's also you can also join us if you are, let's say, very very new to this. You just simply don't use heavy weights. So for people who are
like Clara,
they are new to working out, you don't want to overexert, this class can be good for you too, but be aware that after the class you'll feel sore everywhere
I just feel, because I'm very new to this, after some the cardio only classes are okay, but the stretch one and the strength one, I felt like I was giving birth. I just don't even know that those muscles exist.
Precisely.
Ever. I felt like I was giving birth.
And you'll be surprised that there are actually pregnant ladies
oh my god,
goes for circuit class.
Later she give birth to the baby in the middle of the class. How?
Very scared. No, I don't know how.
Okay.
But what I'm trying to say is that pregnant ladies who see the benefits of going for strength training or circuit training, there are tangible benefits from it.
Of course not, you need strength to give birth, dude.
Right?
Yes.
So while you are not pregnant yet, go and train your strength.
Okay, and on the other end of the spectrum, if gym is not your cup of tea, I have a book to recommend. This book, the title is Eleanor Oliphant is Completely Fine by Gail Honeyman. And it is it's not a painful book for me to read, but I think for one of my friends, she she thinks that this book is quite painful. So it is set in Glasgow, Scotland, and Eleanor is this socially awkward person who leads a solitary lifestyle, but she always described herself as being completely fine. All her life, she's enamored with a singer, and she felt that it is her destiny to like marry this singer, but it's all in her mind. So she will think that ultimately I will get him and I will marry him, right? So one day she went to the concert, and then she has to face the reality that he's not the person in her mind. And when the story unfolds, you will realize that why is she socially awkward and she leads a solitary lifestyle. Part of it, she is badly scarred on her face, and this makes her comport herself and in a insecure way, but she doesn't acknowledge it. And she doesn't acknowledge all this. And another part of the story has to do with the friendship of her and this person called Raymond who unfolds. And he doesn't judge her by her look. And through their friendship, that it was a narrative of how she comes out of her shell and acknowledge certain things in her life. So I don't want to spoil the book for you, but there are quite deep-seated trauma in her life that actually made her behave in a certain way and make her feel insecure in a certain way. So I thought that this book is an apt book to read if you want to deal with bodily insecurity. You want to delve deeper into it through another person's story. Yes.
Or if you want to do like active things to deal with it, you can come and join me in the gym.
Okay, he's like being a salesman already, so he better get some commission. Yeah, see, I tell you, he secretly like wants like the free gym membership. I also want. Okay, so that's all for today's episode. Thank you so much for joining us and joining us in our journey of being pui and being not pui but being pui again. But really deep inside both of us, we are still pui in our hearts.
Yeah, there's a fat boy living inside me.
Correct. I tell you, fat people are the funniest.
We are the funniest because before anybody say us, right, we say ourselves first.
Correct.
There's empowerment to it, one.
Okay.
That's why we are self-deprecating.
And it's okay. It boosts our confidence in a way.
Okay.
Yes, that's all. Bye-bye, everybody.
Thanks for listening.